Tāloko lava, Malusuku Mau, Malalagi Ma. My name is DeJong, co-director of Kuaka, the organisation formerly known as New Zealand Alternative. And we're here standing in solidarity with affected communities in the Pacific as they continue their struggles for nuclear justice. My suggestion today is that the waste dumping is part of a much broader story. Continued nuclear colonialism facilitated through secrecy and power, and a broader movement, an intergenerational movement for the health of our oceans, guided by Indigenous knowledge and a grassroots regionalism. I briefly wanted to talk about New Zealand's role in the 1980s movement to oppose Japanese nuclear waste dumping, which resulted in the Nui Convention, as an example of how a regional movement for the Mori to Moana, the health of our oceans, can make a better world for everybody. And a reminder to our government that these things matter, and our international image and global image as a bastion of liberal internationalism and defender of the rules-based international order is based upon principled opposition to injustice. In 1979, Japan revealed plans to dump 500,000 barrels of nuclear wastewater north of the Northern Marianas Trench. It caused widespread regional opposition. And in 1982, Pacific nations gathered in Rarotonga for a hui on the human environment in the South Pacific. It was modelled on the 1972 Stockholm Conference. There, Guam came up with a bold plan to go to the London Dumping Convention and use Kiribati and Guam to advance a total prohibition or moratorium on the dumping of all nuclear waste at sea. This was stonewalled in a series of regional meetings from 82 through 86 by Britain, who is the largest ocean dumper of nuclear waste, and others. Of course, the Pacific also wanted to ban nuclear testing, so France opposed it in a similar way, and America did not want to preclude the option of dumping nuclear waste in the high sea pockets of the proposed Nui Convention area. So they also strong-armed the Pacific for a series of meetings. In the end, the regional opposition to nuclearism was so intense that New Zealand and Australia went to ANZUS meetings and convinced the Pentagon, Department of Defense, as well as moderates within the State Department, that if they would not adopt a more constructive attitude within the Nui Convention negotiations, that the US risked losing their ability to have nuclear warships throughout the Pacific. And so America ended up ceding its high sea rights to dump nuclear waste in the several pockets of the Nui Convention. And that is why in 1986, the signature of the Nui Convention went through and created what is arguably an indigenous regime of ocean governance opposed to the dumping of nuclear waste. That language carries through to the Rarotonga Convention and the 1995 Waiangani Convention. So what we have and what New Zealand has been a part of is a regional regime that prohibits the spoliation of the sacred ocean. And that regime stands. That is the basis of how we can oppose this on principle. And we can't simply turn back. I'm standing here because in the Pacific, Japanese attempts to erode a Pacific consensus have created compounded harms for activists within Fiji, Marshallese activists. Sitivini Rambuka was on Twitter bullying activists. It is compounding harms for our peoples, and it's breaking down our ability to resist ongoing colonialism and the effects of climate change, and the fact that our ocean is very quickly becoming, a sacrifice zone, and we need to stand up against this. And so I suggest that we consider this as part of a broader story and an action that stands against the normalization of this type of behavior, and we should oppose it on principle and as the thin end of a wedge. Kia ora koutou, whawhatatele lava.